Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here, and actually it's cloudy and rainy Southern California. That gentleman out there is?
Jay Silverman, Phoenix, Arizona.
Are you getting rain today?
Not as hot as it normally is this time of year. It's a little cooler today, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's almost like a harbinger of early fall.
Blessed with the monsoon this year for sure. So
that's good. Yeah, we've had so many fires here in Southern California. It's kind of nice to see a little rain, you know. Very unusual, but anyway, what else is unusual is that see my segue. One of the things that Jason and I are going to be dissecting today is this gem. I'm not even sure you can read that on my screen. It's Oro de Coyame. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Or Coyame. There's no accent on it, so it could be Coyame. This is a Sotol, and Jason and I have this like love affair with Sotols, and we've done a few already this year together.
This is a great looking bottle. I love the classy look, kind of a black and white with gold trim.
Yep.
Look at all this great information on the back of the bottle. My God, the whole cooking process and production process is drawn on the bottle. It's really nice. It's like beautiful.
Yo, we didn't get any information. There's no real website per se, but everything you need to know is right there. And but here's what we're going to do. We're going to pour some first in our glassware, taste it, tell you what we think, and then maybe Jason can kind of give us a rundown of where you can find it in Arizona. Maybe. But anyway, I'm going to use my Sotol jarrito that we use for high proof and for mezcal. This one comes in at what is it? 40. It's 48 ABV.
Okay. A little bit higher proof. I'm going to bust out this Glencairn glass that works. The classic, one of the more prominent tasting vessels out there that easily found.
Yep.
And it's usually good for tasting anything. But let's see. This is a beautiful, clear, crystal clear Sotol. And no, I do love that. I do love the bottle because it has that just a classy look to it.
Yeah, it actually looks. It's rather elegant, actually.
Tons of great information on here too. So let's see what we got.
Well, I didn't bring a napkin, but I do have a Kleenex here. Let's see if you folks can see that on my camera. It's a bit cloudy today, so and I got some high-powered lighting going on, but oh yeah,
I have enough lighting in here actually.
Well, if you open that window, we're all gonna be. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wow, there's some thick legs and tears on this thing. According to the information on the bottle, the plants. This is the wild harvested Daslerian Wheelery from Chihuahua, by the way. So we're gonna stipulate the region, the state. These plants are anywhere from 18 to 22 years old. So they're going to have a lot of desert character. And wow,
quite an age on there. I didn't notice that. That's that's a good chunk of time right there. 20-year plants. Wow.
Wow. And I, Jason and I, we've had some Sotols from other states. I believe you and I had one from Durango. But this one from Chihuahua just has a real special place in my heart, the whole state of Chihuahua. So, and really, just like mezcal, the region and the hand of the maker make a big difference because where the plant grows, of all the Mexican distillates, I believe that Sotol really does have that. People can get that idea of terroir.
Yeah. You
taste where it's growing, it's the region, because I've had Texas Sotol and it's a whole lot different, well-made Texas Sotol, and really the one from Durango was a little bit different, and I'm expecting some big things on this one. So
it's definitely really important, the terroir with Sotol. This is more of the classic. To me, I've only, when you begin tasting Sotols, you're generally likely to find one from Chihuahua more than anywhere else, right?
Yeah,
I think that's where a lot of the Sotols are being produced.
Well, Hacienda de Chihuahua, that's everybody. That's everybody's Jose Cuervo Sotol.
Yeah, I think there's more of a tradition there in Sotol production. It's really earthy. You know, there's a huge amount of earthiness. And before I even taste this one, there's always a lot of earthiness in Sotol and a lot of, you know,
a lot of plant as well.
A lot of plant and aroma, and obviously the plants are, you know, skinny, and you have to work hard to get the yield that you want. You need a lot.
Well, it's a bulb, so you know the nice thing is when you harvest them, the roots stay, and eventually it grows back.
Right.
To my knowledge, I think
not an agave, technically.
Yeah, well, no, it's not. It's a whole other. It does have its own denomination of origin. It is considered a Mexican distillate. We lump it into agave spirits, but it really, if you have enough of these, you realize that it's kind of the best of all worlds. You know, like sometimes it's smoky like mezcal, sometimes it's sweet like tequila. You know, and then it has its own character. So it demands for you to take more time with it. I'm not getting a whole lot of nose on this. What are you getting on this thing? It's very subtle on the nose for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting some earthiness and some grassiness. You know, the notes on the bottle, it's herbaceous and citric.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm getting a more of a citrusy. There is some alcohol in there, right in the center. It comes right up to greet you.
I mean, honestly, I find that I can kind of sense the maturity in the plants, in the aroma. I feel like there's like a kind of a rusticity there. Comes from more mature plants.
Wait, let me look that up in my dictionary.
That's not the right word, but almost like I want to say musty, but.
Oh, could be. Yeah. Well, you know, these plants, the older they get, the more they absorb, the more fibrous they are. I guess the rule is that one plant equals one bottle of Sotol, which is unusual because with tequila, you know, you need more plant to make a liter of tequila. So, okay, now I'm getting a little more grassiness. I'm getting the grassiness that you're talking about.
Yeah,
and more in the center of the glass. But otherwise, it's really mild.
I almost feel like there's the wooden fermentation has a place in the aroma here as well, because I'm kind of putting that together here, and maybe it's just like the way I'm thinking about it, but I feel like I can sense that the wooden fermentation definitely, I think it would affect the final result in the aroma.
Some of the fermentation that we've seen, for instance, the Don Cuco family, the Hackes family, they ferment in underground concrete vats, as opposed to this one. This was using a wooden vats, and I would assume that they're fermenting with fiber as well, probably very much like they do in mezcal.
Yeah,
but what does it say the oven is? What is it that they're roasting these
cylindrical oven, a horno cylindrico, so just a cylinder or a conical oven. It kind of looks like an earthen pit, I would suggest.
But it doesn't, again, we got no information. We have only the drawings on the bottle, and it looks like it's not being covered in earth so much as it has like a lid, like a door, it's an underground oven where you literally just shut the door on it.
Mike, do you find any similarity with in the aroma to like almost like an aloe kind of feel to it? Like, does it remind you of aloe at all?
Aloe's rather light, yeah. But I am getting more citrus notes on the nose. It's just very faint. So you know what? Let's dive in and see if there's even more to it.
Really? Yeah, I was seeing the aloe. There's an aloe liqueur that I tried so recently, so I was thinking about that. But this is kind of reminiscent of that. But let me go and see what's going on here.
Oh. Wow, that's different. Explosion of pepper on the whole palate. Wow. That was my first pass, but it's an aggressive intake. It's an aggressive on the intake here. For me, it was.
Yeah.
Then the explosion at mid palate, and the finish is a nice long finish.
I really enjoyed the finish. I didn't have as much impact on the on entry as you may have. The pepper is definitely there, and the the cherry pepper, black pepper. It's definitely present, and yeah, I think it's kind of a classic Sotol flavor profile from the Dazzlon. I'm sorry, I butchered that.
Dazzlery and Wheelery. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not botanists.
Wasn't ready for that. I need to prepare myself to say that.
Yeah, because you say Dazzlery, and it is really a tongue twister if you're not careful.
Rolls right off. So yeah, I think like I said, for me it's like a classic flavor profile. We tasted Sotols that were aged a little. We've tasted some that were almost more reminiscent of mezcal. But this is a classic and it seems to be very well made. There's a lot of attention to detail, I would imagine. And I'm sure the production is rather small. The place it comes from, Aldama, it looks like it's a pretty small community, not too far from the city of Chihuahua. So,
why don't you tell everybody what the whole process is? Because it describes it right on the label. It's pictures, the little pictures.
Yeah.
It's wild harvested. We know that.
Yeah,
the plant's between 18 to 22 years old.
Yeah, that's a really that's a lofty age for distilled spirits, Mexican spirits that are going to be that's right up there with the most aging on a plant, right?
Yeah, some agave.
20 to 25 years, but generally you see something grown for closer to 8 or 10 years, or even 6 or 7 if it's a Blue Weber.
Yeah, the mezcal industry is depending on what it is you're looking at. Some of these plants could be like 30 years old, and to harvest them, that they're really difficult to do. This one, what's funny though, Jason, it's got great pepper, great lip numbness. I'm getting all that. It's a 48 ABV. What I thought was it was going to be gamier for me. On the second and first, once at mid palate, I'm getting more of the fibers of the plant. But I thought it would be a little bit more gamey for me, a little bit more depth. It's actually lighter and brighter than I expected.
Well, that's why I said the classic flavor profile. But yeah, so the cooking process, it's definitely more similar to mezcal when you do these sotols in the kind of an earthen oven like that, and then they use what appears to be almost the Tahona.
It's a Tahona, and it's also axed. I mean, they got to axe it up in pieces and then throw it on the. It looks like a Tahona on the back. In fact, let's just show it. Let's just show it and see if you guys can decipher that.
The Tahona right there, and then the wooden fermentation vat appears clearly. It's wooden underneath the Tahona. The Tahona is interesting. There's a lot of detail in there, so we don't know exactly what it's made out of, but generally stone, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's wooden because you've got it. If you look at the drawing, it's got staves, so it's like very similar to the pine vats that they use at El Tesoro and some of the other ones that you see in those rustic pictures on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I didn't look. Do you know if they have an Instagram account?
No, I checked and see their social media presence is pretty minimal right now.
Okay.
I don't think there's much out there. I did look.
This is being imported by WT Imports in Laredo, Texas. So if you haven't seen this in South Texas, you might want to ask for it. It is. I'm not going to say that it's for. I'm going to say it's aggressive, so it's not for the beginner of a Sotol. I think it bears more study and being with it. I mean, you're the cocktail guy, so I'm not sure if you want to mess with this one as a cocktail, because it's aggressive, but it's got character in it, and yet the nose is a lot lighter and brighter than I expected. because the ones that you and I have had previous to this one this year had a little bit more depth,
Yeah.
on the flavor and the nose, and this one I'm not getting that. It's citrusy and brighter, and I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
think
sure how to
it's
take
great in
that.
a cocktail. I would make I would do like a Sotol Negroni with this, and a little bit of a little bit of Campari, and probably double the spirit. The Sotol, probably do a good ounce and a half. Um, Instead of the 1 ounce to 1 ounce to 1 ounce in a classic
Right.
Negroni, I would do a little more Sotol because I would enjoy it. Yeah, it was this, and along with like Aperol would be great. You could do this at a Paloma; would be really nice.
We took one. We took one Sotol. We actually took Sotol Raramuri to El Cholo, and did their review finally. Alex and myself did it. And the funny thing is, they loved it. They took it to the bar. They came back with a cocktail. Came back with two cocktails. One was kind of leaning toward more like the mojito style, and the other one was more like you said, the Negroni or the old fashioned. But now I'm not even sure what's in it. But the older one, the first one, was way better and much more refreshing. And all of those were at a higher ABV, and like this one. And the other Sotols that we had were even higher. One of them was like a 49, 50 ABV. So I say even though I say that I wouldn't put it in a cocktail because I enjoy these Mexican spirits on their own, but you have a mixologist who knows what he's doing. Somebody like Jason would like to have it El Cholo, and all of a sudden they create magic.
Yeah,
And
I'm getting a lot of the. I forgot to mention. I'm really getting a lot of the smoke in here now too.
see, I'm not getting any of that smoke, and I'm not sure if it's because it's not opening up for me or I don't have a big enough pour. Maybe it's I just broke the seal off of mine, and it's been sitting in my office almost months before. I
Yeah,
think
really,
you got yours
really.
like weeks ago or something, right?
I really am getting a little bit of smoke in there, which is it's funny because I don't find smoke in a lot of mezcals the way you do when you first start out tasting mezcals, and
Yeah.
you're just getting into it. You inherently get the smokiness up front more than if you've been drinking mezcal over the years. It kind of gradually fades into a background note, and you find other prominent flavor profiles. But I do get a little. It's pretty nice, pleasant smoke in here, and the classic earthiness of like the desert soil and the terroir that you really do find in a nice handmade Sotol like this. It's definitely something that's produced in small batches. We don't know exactly the size, but we'd have to assume that the batches are going to be smaller than 1,000 bottles, and I would say it's definitely small production. A lot of nice details on here.
On the retronasal, I get a lot more of the fiber, a lot more of the wood from the woodiness from the plant itself. If you've seen Sotol, I mean they grow it. It grows all over El Paso. It grows all over New Mexico, southern New Mexico. They use it as ground cover here in Southern California. Santa Barbara County is covered with it on the slopes of the hills.
Yeah.
And each one of those plants, from whatever location you're getting them from, are gonna taste different. I would really love to see a Sotol made out of Santa Barbara, because they use it for ground cover, especially during the rainy season. You don't want to see you get a lot of mudslides in that area, and you put these plants in there because they solidify the ground, and there's lots of them growing up and down. I was surprised. I didn't bring my paddle, but what do you think? Brandon Promise nominee?
Yeah, I would say it's exceptional. I think it's great. I think it's a well-made spirit for sure. I like this bottle. It reminds me of Aroma Tequila. It's almost a similar font and everything with the agave drawn.
I will say the back is in Spanish, and it's a little bit difficult to decipher the font. But yeah, you're right. The font is very similar to Artenom. You're right.
The black and white look, it reminds me of an Artenom label, which is a great inspiration if that was any kind of influence on that. But who's to say?
Yeah.
It could be just a coincidence, but it's very Very good Sotol. I would definitely say it's a brand of promise for me. Yeah, I would be look forward to seeing this around.
Now this is supposedly this is the person putting this together. The proprietor is Gerardo Ruelas Hernandez. So it's a Casa Ruelas, and I think Senor Ruelas or the Ruelas family is prominent in the Sotol industry. I have heard the name before. I haven't put two and two together. I'm not exactly sure. I believe he has more than one brand out there, probably from more than one maker. And does it give us the name of the maker is what I want to know. I don't think that the name of the maker is there, but it is Sotol Casaruelas, 1930. That is their, well, they have a Hotmail address. This is lot 1. Holy cow, what lot is yours?
Oh, I didn't see the lot number. Where's that? Oh, down there. Yeah, lot 1 is for me as well. So,
wow.
It's new Sotol. And we hope to see it out there in a year's time or less. We'll maybe start seeing it places like Barcoa down in Phoenix. We're going to be opening up this fall, focusing on agave spirits. It's an agave.
I've already talked to Jason on camera, and we're gonna do a special maybe open bar with Jason at Barcoa, so you can show people around, what there is, what makes it so special. Who maybe we can talk to David a little bit later on. I'd love to have David on, or on open bar, and maybe the two of us could co-host and have an interview. Because David, if folks from Arizona are familiar with him, he was the one of the first founders of the Taco and Tequila Fest, right, in Phoenix, which we attended a couple of years back.
Yep.
What was the full name of that? The Taco and Tequila. What was the name of the show? The full name of it was
Arizona Taco Festival, I think.
That's it, Arizona Taco Festival. It was huge.
Pretty good tequila tent. Pretty good setup out there.
Great setup.
Fields.
And he has since graduated and gone to, he's been building this place for at least a year. And Jay is involved with, with the location. So hopefully once it opens up, you and I we're gonna get together and, and see make it a nice destination location. Because I think Arizona now is becoming a hotbed for not just tequila, but agave spirits in general, because it does. Arizona has a really interesting history with agave spirits, not just Sotol, but also Bacanora and Mezcal. So
proximity to Chihuahua and Sonora, it's a big influence.
Yeah. So
people that love.
So stay tuned. Hopefully, early in 2022, we can get together and do a couple of things like that. But that's our take on Sotol. And I think it's Oro de Coyame. All right. And if you guys have had it, if you're watching us on YouTube, give us tell us what you're doing with it. If you're having it, if you've ever had it. Do we know a price point on this thing at all? I don't even know if it's even available yet across the border. I think it is. I'm not even sure if it's what it's going for in Texas. It's got to be substantial.
It's hard to find information on the brand. I feel like it's probably they're just starting out. I think it's
well, lot 1. So there's your giveaway right there, right? So we're one of the first ones
distributed yet in Arizona. I probably would have seen it somewhere if it had been for sale. So I think we're not quite on the market yet here.
Nope.
But
it'll be.
It might be on the shelves in Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, probably, but it will be available at Barcoa. So
if you're curious about agave spirits and Sotol, I would definitely look for this and seek it out and check it out and grab a bottle. It's definitely really interesting and delicious.
Yep, worth every penny, whatever the cost is. Anyway, that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy out there is
Jay Silverman in Phoenix, Arizona.
You have been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. Please follow Silverlight Drinks on Instagram. You can follow Jason on his Instagram. You follow us on our Instagram on TA, Facebook, Twitter. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, give us a like because it helps with the algorithm. And whatever you do, Tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely, friends.